Okay, welcome back to the channel, guys. It is your LB podcast, and we are back with Liverpool stuff. We are back with discussions and comments about Liverpool. It is the preseason. Um, Liverpool has begun their preseason games. We played against Sunderland, and it was a 4-2 finish to the game. Lots of stuff to discuss about the game, lots of things that we observed that we want to talk about. So, Stana, how is it going?
Yeah, all good.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm sure you watched the game yesterday against Sunderland.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I was asking if you watched our first preseason game under Andoni
Yeah, I
Iraola.
actually had no plan of watching it. I knew we were playing, but I wasn't planning on watching it. So I think I saw you post on our WhatsApp group that the game is on one of the TV stations in Ghana. So that was what drew my attention to, and I wasn't really doing anything. So I decided, okay, let me catch a glimpse. So I only got the second half, and I think maybe 10 minutes of the first half. The last 10 minutes of the first half is what I got. But I saw a lot of things that is worth discussing, I think. So we'll try and get through that. But from what you watched, just your thoughts on the game, what you observed, and things that you think can be we can look forward to seeing more in this Liverpool team. Because of course we don't expect that this would be sort of we can rely on this result alone to say that everything is going to work, right? We don't want to really look at the results. We just want to look at things that has changed since the last time we saw Liverpool play a game of football. So what were some of your observations that you think were encouraging or were not so much encouraging, or things that you expect to change going forward?
Uh, it had been a very tough couple of weeks till the end of the season last year under Arne Slot, and the speculations were all over. As Arne Slot taking us to the new season, and you remember when we did our review, we had discussions, and I was very pessimistic about Arne Slot. If he is taking us to the next season, what are we to expect? Where are we finishing next season if he's in charge, and things like that. Now, good news came for some of us who wanted Arne Slot out. He went out, and Andoni Iraola came in. We still had our say on it because, of course, as football fans, but again, as pundits, we need to look at it from all angles and say Andoni Iraola, unlike Jurgen Klopp and even unlike Arne Slot, those people had won things in their careers before coming into the job. So with Andoni Iraola, he's not coming in as a winner. He's coming in potentially because of what we think he can get to, which is the next level, which is Liverpool. Now, would he be able to transform or transcend what he has done so far at Bournemouth to Liverpool? Now, remember, Salah made a statement at the end of the season saying that we need to go back to the club way, the judging pressing way, intensity, and things like that. And at the back end of the season under Arne Slot, it is something that we really cried out for. Our games were slow, we were sluggish, we were lethargic in our play. So we needed more intensity, more energy. It is what we've experienced for the best part of a decade at the club. So we brought in Andoni Iraola. We know that is a similar style of play that he likes his players to play. Saw it at Bournemouth for about 30 games. I think he had the best record in Europe for the most games played without losing. And so it was qualifying Bournemouth to their first European campaign, probably the first time in their history. So we needed to see how that would translate. Now, fast forward, preseason has started. So we're looking to see signs of it. And I think we did see signs of it, especially in the second half. I thought first half was a bit slow for me. Watching it, we're trying to play out from the back. at times a bit too slow for my liking. And I also know that you have to take into consideration that the centre back pairing wasn't the ideal centre back pairing. The young kid in Dai was a centre back. Joe Gomez started, got injured. I know we'll talk more about Joe Gomez in midfield as well. We started Harvey Elliott in there. We know he came back from Aston Villa. I'm sure we'll talk about personnel as well. But from a general point of view, I think the second half, I saw how we were pressing, how we even scored the first goal was from a pressing situation where we forced them to go long. Our goalkeeper recycled the ball and we scored a goal from that. So I think good signs from the first game, but of course, we need to see more. It is against Sunderland. Most of their players weren't even playing, also. We need to remember that. But I think it's good. It's good that we were able to score 4 goals, even though it was a pretty makeshift team from the first half and even in the second half as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think from the last time I saw Liverpool play, I I wasn't looking forward to the next season because I thought it was going to still take a while if Anna Slot was going to stay for things to get back to normal, if it was going to get back to normal. And I wasn't sure they were going to sack Anna Slot at the time because I thought that if they were going to sack him, they should have done it in the course of the season, maybe around February, March, when we saw that things were never going to get better. I think we should have sacked him. We should have given the job to maybe Gerard or somebody just in the interim till the end of the season, and then we find a coach. But we didn't do that. We stuck with him, and then at the end of the season, he went. So coming into the new season, the only thing you can do basically is to have some optimism and hope that things are going to work for the better, even if you have some reservations about Andoni Iraola. The fact that he hasn't coached at this level at such a big club before, and he hasn't really won trophies. In his track record doesn't show that. But of course, he hasn't gotten the opportunity to coach teams that are capable of winning trophies. So you can't really judge him on that. So, but then one thing is for sure, and that is the fact that Andoni Iraola plays exciting football. It is high intensity. It is something that Liverpool fans have been used to under Jurgen Klopp, and that is something you would believe or you would think that Liverpool fans are craving for right now. So even if we are not winning on a consistent basis, but the football is exciting, people are going to be okay with that. And I think that is why they pulled the plug on Anna Slot in the first place. So looking at yesterday's match, we were all trying to look out for signs and certain things that could point us to believe that Andoni Raiola's era is going to be different from what we saw last season. And of course, we did see that. For me, the most notable one was Kerkes. You, if you will recall, I made a video during the week about the fact that I think Kerkes and Frimpong are going to be very good this season under Andoni Raiola. And so I was looking forward to seeing that new sort of role for Kerkes in the team. And it was back to his Bournemouth days, especially in the second half of the game. I was really trying to look at where he was receiving the balls, and it was always in the opponent's half. Kerkes was getting the ball, he was getting on the ball constantly in the opponent's half, running at people, going past people, trying to make the cutback or make the cross. And I think that is something that really stood out for me. Also, we saw a lot of youngsters coming on in the game, having the opportunity to show us what they have. Something that we didn't really see a lot of under Slot. And for me, the fact that Calvin Ramsey came on and gave an assist, I wonder what Anna Slot would say if he was watching the game, because he never gave the guy any chance. He never gave him any encouragement at all, both in public and behind closed doors, I think. And so for me, I think that is also one exciting thing, apart from Kerkers and the way we were using the flanks, the way we were having our fullbacks fly along the flanks. The other thing was the fact that the youngsters had the opportunities. I know that not all of them will have a place in the team. Some of them will go on loan by the beginning of the season. Some of them will be gone. Some of them will also go back to the academy and be playing regularly over there. But I know for sure that when the need arises, Andoni Iraola is going to trust these young guys. He's going to give them the opportunity to play. Unlike Slot, who basically just wrote most of them off. The only two academy guys that he gave the chance to was Trey Nyoni and Rio Ngumoha. Those were the only two he was willing to give any chance. Apart from that, so it wasn't. It was something that I think was a negative for Anna Slot as well. The fact that for a Liverpool manager, I think you have no option. It is a must. It is an absolute must to give the youngsters confidence. For me, it is not even about playing them on a regular basis. It is about what you say when you are asked questions about them. And Anna Slot, I think he didn't really cover himself in glory when it came to talking about some of the youngsters and the players on the fringes. In a team like Liverpool, you need to make everybody feel $1 million about themselves. If you don't do that, then you are going to get in trouble because injuries are going to come. There are going to be times in the season that you just have to rotate. And I think Anna Slot wasn't really very good at that, rotating the squad and making sure that he keeps the freshness throughout the games. But the next thing that I want us to talk about was the second half. How did you see the second half? I know you spoke about the first half a little bit. What do you think changed in that second half in yesterday's game?
I think second half more front-footedness from the players, especially our centre backs. I thought the first half there was too much elaboration on passing out from the back, so at times it was a bit. They kept it a bit too long in dangerous areas as centre back, trying to play out from the back. Sunderland were pressing,
Yeah, the ball
so
wasn't being moved quickly, I think,
yeah, the ball
in
wasn't
that first.
moving quickly, and I also felt there wasn't enough boldness on the ball to find that man inside. But I think that improved a bit in the second half, especially the young guy in DIE. I know you spoke about him quite briefly before we came on, that you were impressed with him in the second half. I wasn't really impressed in the first half. He is quite good on the ball, but I always felt he took a bit much time on the ball. But talking about the back line, Jeremy Frimpong still didn't pull off enough feathers for me on the other side. Lost the
Yeah,
ball that we considered from for the first Sunderland goal. He was the one that lost possession. I think it was the first goal or the second goal. I can't quite remember which of the goals. But he lost one
yeah, I
of the
think it
goals
was
was
the
from
first
him
goal.
losing the ball, the first goal. So Jeremy Frimpong, he really needs to show up, especially in this preseason, to gain momentum going into the season. Because without Conor Bradley, it means that we will very
So do
much
you
rely on
think
him at right back.
Frimpong was playing as a right winger or at right back?
Um, I think Frimpong was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I guess I didn't really notice his exact role in the team. You felt, I mean, you pretty much watched the second half. Where was he predominantly playing?
Yeah, I think in the second half he was playing more like a, yeah, because when he was
Mhm.
playing, I think there was this youngster, the one who scored the first goal. I've forgotten his name for
Kieran
Liverpool. He
Morris,
was the
I
one
think.
playing on that
Yeah.
right hand side as the winger. Yeah, but I was seeing Frimpong go forward a lot. Just that the his final ball wasn't really getting to the target, the targeted area or the targeted man. So that was the main thing. And I think when it comes to his defense, the way he defends Frimpong, he needs to improve. But for me, I'm confident in Frimpong to play well, not because of Frimpong. I'm confident in Frimpong because of Iraola. If you know what I mean. So I have confidence that he will play well, not because he himself would do anything different, but I think Iraola is capable of raising his level, just like he's done with many other players. So that is why I think he was good. But yeah, in the second half too, I think one notable performer that I really enjoyed watching was Trey Nyoni. When he came into that six, he was really strong in the tackles, also passing the ball. He was really good. I like the fact that he always wanted to pass the ball forward. He wasn't. You realize that normally when youngsters come into the team, they just want to keep things safe and tidy. But he wasn't going for the easy passes. He was trying to push the ball through the lines into the attacking players and get Liverpool on the front foot. Soboslai also came on in the second half. We saw his goal. A lot of people are talking about him, that he's probably going to be the best player next season as well. Do you think we should move this fast? What do you think
Yeah,
about Soboslai?
yeah. Soboslai scored a very good goal. I think the reason why most people mention Soboslai and the fact that Soboslai will have a very good campaign is mostly down to what you said about Frimpong as well. It is Andoni Iraola. You look at the way he plays, the intensity, it is what Soboslai really thrives upon. He likes that side of the game. He likes to put his body on the line, can run for days, has bundle of energy. So I think that is probably the more reason why. And also he signed a new contract. His heart and soul and everything he has, it's set on Liverpool for the future. I'm pretty sure he will be one of the captains, if not the vice captain, might probably be the third or the fourth. Whatever it may be, I'm sure he will be part of the leadership group henceforth. And he I heard reports that when they started preseason, even before they played the game, remember Virgil van Dijk is not in the team, Robertson has left, Salah is no more there.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one that was leading the charge, leading the players, setting examples in training sessions. And so I think he will really build momentum off that. And he will know that when he plays well, he would drag the team with how he plays and how he carries himself on the pitch. And I think Sobosai is someone that I feel he really thrives off that. Watching him for Hungary, I see that he does that a lot when he plays for his country. And I think he will give us a similar thing playing for Liverpool, especially under Andoni Iraola.
For me, I don't think there's any better person to replace Van Dijk as a captain when Van Dijk eventually leaves. I don't know, but some people think he maybe he might have said certain things last season that doesn't augur well for a potential Liverpool captain. So maybe he shouldn't be. But for me, that is neither here nor there. I think Soboslai is someone who speaks his mind. He doesn't hide his feeling. He's not political.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to be politically right. He just says whatever he thinks. And not everybody is going to like what he says. So for me, I don't really care about that. The thing is mostly about what he does on the pitch, his ability to lead by example, and I think he's the best person in the squad right now. So for me, there should be no questions about who is Liverpool's next captain. In my view, he's the automatic next Liverpool captain, given that he's extended his contract, and
And I even
we all
think
know
with
that
the
he
extension of
wants
his
to stay.
contract, I think it would be something that would be spoken about before he signed the contract
Yeah.
extension, that we would want him to assume or be one of the leaders going forward,
Mm,
um, as one of the points that would, let me say, convince him to actually um, abide him in terms of his contract and staying for Liverpool for a number of years to come.
yeah. Okay, so based off of yesterday's game, and also from your own sort of intuition about Andoni Raiola in the squad that we have currently, who is your player to watch out for, or players to watch out for this coming season? Which players do you think we would see massive improvements in the coming season under Iraola? You could go maybe two or three players if you were
Yeah,
asked to choose. Which ones are you going for?
firstly, of course, I will go Milos Kerkis. I think last season Milos Kekes really struggled, and I, for one, could just not understand why that is. Because watching from behind, I am not never gone to coaching school, never done anything professional in terms of football. I just watch football with my eyes, and what my eyes always told me is that you don't use Milos Kerkez for build-up. The areas where he was receiving most of the balls was in build-up phases. So whenever he gets it, he's trying to pass it to Van Dijk, never progressive. We didn't need him in build-up in those areas. And that is where I
Yeah,
was always
he
seeing
was
him.
too
I
deep for
think it
me,
was,
for my liking.
yes, very, very deep. It was in the latter part that I felt he was going for a little bit. But even then, the connection with Gakpo, I didn't really like at all. I think Gakpo, most of the time, didn't even see his overlaps or underlaps or anything. He just got there and wasn't very useful. We weren't using what actually his game is very much built upon. So he became very, let me say, a bit useless, quote unquote, in the team. And I think Andoni Iraola will really use his capabilities and what he's made of and improve it. I think he'll build more confidence. Spent a year now playing for Liverpool. So by now he should improve, and I think he will improve under Arne Slot. The next player I'm looking at, I think Soboslai is a more obvious option, so I wouldn't really mention Soboslai. I would go one of the centre backs between Leone and Jackie, and I would say Giovanni Leone. I think I look at someone like James Hill, and I don't know if you've paid attention to that guy at Bournemouth. When Dean Huijsen, Dean Huijsen was there, brought in Senesi was there, and then the other one, can't remember his name, Zabani. James Hill was the fourth choice centre back at Bournemouth, behind Senesi, Zabani, and then Hoyson. Now they brought in a new signing, Diakite. Really struggled a bit early on, and then James Hill was brought in into the squad. I think the first few times that I saw James Hill play in the Premier League, I actually felt he's not even championship level, maybe League One or League Two, wasn't really up for grabs in the Premier League. But the improvement that I saw from, or I've seen from James Hill in the last 4 5 months till the Premier League ended, I was really, really surprised. And I think if he can get one of our centre backs duo alongside Van Dijk to get to that level, and I think Giovanni Leone is more suited to that because he is really, I think, more suited to the right centre back role. So I think depending on how his fitness is, I feel like he will be someone that I feel would really establish himself in the Liverpool shed this season. If if the caveat is if he's fit. I think he will be one that I'll be looking forward to him to seeing him how he improves under this Liverpool team. The next one I'm looking at is Ruben Gomoha. I think Ruben Gomoha will get more game time under slot. Under Andoni Raiola. Andoni Raiola likes these young players. He likes the youthful exuberance, the running. I think one aspect of Ruben Gomoha's game is what he offers off the ball. I think Andoni Raiola would need to improve his game off the ball because even in the friendly, I saw that at times he made us short a little bit when we were trying to press up from the front. So I think that is something he will improve from. And Donny Raiola will need to help him improve on that front. And if he does, it will mean that he will be starting more games because I always felt like that is one of the reasons why Anaslo didn't really trust him to start in most of the games that we played because he felt Gakpo was better when we didn't have the ball. So I think those three players, Ruben Gomoha, Giovanni Leone, and then Milos Kerkez.
Okay, okay. I think I have different players in mind. I was thinking Kerkes is one of them. That's the player that I think we all have in common. Um, the other player I think he can improve is a defender. And I think that is going to be either a center back or on the right side. So I'm thinking of at the center back, Leone or Jacquet. And I think for some reason, I think it's going to be Jacquet because he's going to get the opportunity to play first. So given that Joe Gomez is also injured, it's likely that by the start of the season in the first game against Newcastle, Jake is going to play alongside Van Dijk. So
Yeah.
having said that, I think he would get the opportunity to sort of train more with the coach, get more improvement during the season. So that maybe Leone comes in later. But on the right hand side too, I'm thinking of um, Jeremy Frimpong. So as I said in my earlier
Yeah.
video, I think Frimpong is also going to improve. Not because he himself will do anything different, but I think Andoni Iraola is going to get him to raise his level. Because we've seen Iraola being able to raise the level of players like what's the name of the Madrid guy? The one who went to
Yeah.
Madrid
Right.
last season. Dean Heisen, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him with players like Zabani and those guys. And I think he's a coach that can really get the best out of center backs. So if he was able to raise the level of Dean Housen to get to get a Real Madrid move, which I think he wasn't even ready for that move yet, but that is it. But I also think I hope that he's able to get the best out of Florian Wirtz because I think Florian Wirtz has very similar traits to Alex Scott, the guy he was using as in that role. I think but he was playing more defensive role than what we would expect Florian Wirtz to be able to play. But I think he will be able to get him into those positions where he's influencing the game rather than him dropping so deep to receive the ball. Because Florian Wirtz dropping deep to receive the ball, it benefits the team in no way, shape, or form. He has to receive the ball in those dangerous areas in the 10 position along the zone 14 where he can really hurt teams. And I think I hope that Iraola will be able to get the most out of him. So let's try and wrap up. And in wrapping up, let's talk about Joe Gomez. That was we don't want to end on a negative note for sure, but he suffered an injury. That was the only negative in the game that we played against Sunderland. And what do you think about Joe Gomez and whether he's going to be able to play a part next season?
Yeah, I think Joe Gomez should be sold. Joe Gomez, I think it's about time. I like Joe Gomez. I like Joe Gomez a lot. He was very vital in our league winning year. But I think he played majority of the games pairing Van Dijk in defense in the year that we won the league. Very, very good and defender at the time. And even at the time, I had conversations with our brother Nana Kwame, and he always felt Joe Gomez should be the next Liverpool captain. And it really did make sense at the time. Yes. And I mean, looking back,
Yeah, yeah,
it sounds a bit of a shock right now, but look, at the time, it did make a lot of sense. He was a center back, learning his trade from Van Dijk, had won the league, had been at the club for a very long time, and so the natural progression would lead you to to that conclusion. But I think it's about time. It reminds me of Phil Jones at Manchester United being at the club for so long, and anytime there's a transfer window, it looks like he's under the radar. The transfer window just passes, and you realize, oh, Joe Gomez is actually still at the club. And you also have to factor in the fact that he's been at the club for so long, contract extension after contract extension. His wages are actually going up. We need to clear the wage bill. I think Liverpool last year had the highest wage bill, or the first or the second highest wage bill, which I think Salah leaving actually brings that down a little bit. But if we need a lot of signings as well, and if Joe Gomez is in the squad list but doesn't offer us anything, if there's if there's an opportunity in the market, a team that wants him, we can maybe sell him, get a bit of profit from him. I think we need to take the chance and then let him go. I think he's paid his dues enough. He's played well in certain parts, but I think it's about time for Joe Gomez. The injuries are just a bit too much for my liking. I don't know what your thoughts are on
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think I am on the same page with you. I actually think he's overstayed his welcome at Liverpool. I don't know how. I don't know which. the length of contract that he signed that has kept him in the club for this long. But I think he should have probably been let go even before people like Trent and yeah, even before Trent
Yeah.
left the
Maybe they are
club,
waiting
because
for
I
it to
think
we are waiting for him to
we've
score a
given
goal.
him enough patience. And what is really affecting the team is that usually we depend on him. Because of him, we haven't brought in a lot of defenders lately, right? So until last season where we brought in Leone, we hadn't bought a centre back for the past 3 or 4 seasons, and I think it was because Joe Gomez was still in the squad. So, but the thing is, if we allow him to go now, it means that we need to bring in one more centre back who can play also in the right back
Yeah.
position, right?
Did you hear
If
what I
not
said?
two. Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Then maybe they are waiting for him to score a goal before they take him out of the team.
Of course, of course. That could be a factor. So we'll see how that goes. So that's how we wrap up, guys. Don't forget to
Yeah.
like the video, subscribe if you are
And
new
we'll be
here.
bringing them a transfer update as well on Liverpool.
Of
So
course, of course.
yeah.
In another episode that will be releasing very soon, we will be talking about Liverpool's transfers and the lack of it, in fact, or the lack of rumors as well. So stay tuned for that. Like the video, share, hype, and also comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. See you. You never walk alone.